shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB, Coacher Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today. Week 2 is we're already past week 2. This is madness. It's going by too fast, but we will recap 7 of our top games from week 2, including this week's peak of the week being Cowboys-Giants, an absolute shootout between Dak and Russell Wilson. We'll talk about that first. And then we'll preview Thursday Night Football. We weren't able to do that last week because we kind of ran out of time just skimming through the whole week 1. But we'll talk Bills-Dolphins a little bit at the end of this episode and give our picks for that. But before we get into anything, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, make sure you leave a like, 5-star review, download the episode. And let's get into Summits and Plummets, since that seems to be now our Tuesday recording theme, overdoing it every episode, which I prefer. Danny, get us kicked off.
Yeah, so my plummet is going to be the infrequency of consistent weather. So inconsistencies in weather. You know, like I'm fine if it's fall, but be fall, you know? Like I don't want 90 degrees or 85 degrees and then it to be 40. Be fall. So that is definitely a plummet. I like the consistency of good weather.
That's what September is, though. September and April are those treacherous twins where it's like, I'm just giving you a taste. I'm not giving you the full load, you know?
That is...
As wise man Paul Pierce once said.
That is being quoted on...
I'm quoting another man. You don't got to quote me. I'm quoting another person on purpose.
Paul Pierce, in quotes,
yes.
Antonio Perez.
Paul, better than Dwayne Wade Pierce. Yes.
But yeah,
hey, I'm still quoting him. I'm just quoting him. I'm just hey, don't attack the messenger, guys. Don't attack the messenger.
Anyway. So I don't know how to go from there. So I'm gonna go Summit. We just did a volunteer event. We packaged enough food for 47 kids for a year at work. So that's definitely a summit, elite summit. Volunteer events they make you disconnect from your reality and they kind of like set you back into real life. So
yeah, it gives you an insight on someone else's
reality. Does that make
reality.
sense? They disconnect you from your reality and set you back into real life. Does that make any sense?
No, that makes sense for sure, because your reality is you got a super tough job and you go to all these places and do all this cool stuff, but their reality is they don't know if they're having lunch. So, you know, it puts you into some other real life issues. Not to say that your reality isn't real. That's your life. But, you know, That is cool, though. That is cool. Chris, what's on the agenda for Summits and Plummets this week?
Well, one of the summits for this week is I just got the link to my cousin's place where I could buy his merch at. He's a wide receiver at ULM. And I'm excited about that because, bro, it's just so funny because obviously I knew him since he was born. Like to see him as a D1 athlete is just crazy. And like actually being like a part of NIL, like, you know, the big shift in college sports over the last couple of years. It's just kind of cool to see one of my family members like, because like on the site you can see how much the athlete benefits from what you buy and stuff like that. It's just a new world. I think it's just kind of cool just to see in real time, to be a part of it. So shout out to my cousin. I'll be buying some merch today, trying to figure out what I'm gonna get, either jersey or long sleeve. But that's one of my summits. And then my other summit is two summits coming up. I'm going to see Rangers Marlins on Saturday at 6:00. We found some really good tickets for like $30 since the season's about to end. So I'm going to see them in Arlington on Saturday. Unfortunately, my favorite player on the Rangers, Corey Seager will not be playing, unfortunately. But
Kyle Seager, baby.
I'm about to rename him. I was about to say Kyle Stowers after that.
Kyle Seager's his brother, bro. You don't know about this?
No, I don't know who Kyle Seager is. He's a real person.
Kyle Seager's a baller. He was his brother. He played for the Mariners.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
He's a real person. So misnaming him, real person.
I'm trying to turn still. Thank you, Danny, for saving my summit from being a plummet. So yeah, I'm happy to go see that. And then right after that, I'm pretty sure I'll talk to you all before then. But my friend's getting married next week. And then I'm in the wedding. This is my first time being in a wedding since my parents' wedding. And I was the ring bearer in my parents' wedding. I won't be doing that, but I will be standing up there in a suit with very, very dark shades just in case someone does start cutting onions far in the back.
That is tough. Congrats to Congrats to an honorary summit as always. I have one quick summit that's not college football related. Uski, that little beat y'all hear in the beginning, that is by my brother Uski. He had a listening party for his album Stay Dangerous, and he's also dropping a little mixtape. It's called The After Party 2. Those should be dropping, I believe he said the 22nd or 23rd. So go stream that, and you don't have an excuse not to find it. The links have always been in the bio, so you can find it all the way at the bottom. Apple Music, Spotify, you can find them anywhere. But to my summits and plummets, I am going to keep these college football related because I actually posted my own top 25 today on our Instagram and Twitter. But I mean, my two summits, at least college football wise, one has to be Georgia. They had like the win of the week. Absolute thriller against Tennessee. Joey Aguilar, I think he might be the best Tennessee quarterback of like this, I guess, 2020s era. Like he runs this offense so unbelievably well, and I think he's also the best out of structure due to his athleticism. But yeah, Georgia, phenomenal game by them. Texas A&M is the other summit for sure. Absolutely incredible win on the road against Notre Dame. Concepcion, Reed, Mario, they all had like an unbelievably good game. Offense looked amazing. Like you could argue Texas A&M their offense is as good as anybody in the country at the moment. They're absolutely rocking. Two big losers this week. Texas, even though they did win, I mean, they are not fooling anybody. Like they are so bad that Ohio State almost looks bad by association because that game was even close at this rate. And sure, you probably don't want to bench Arch. But I mean, at this rate, he's definitely not declaring for the draft. Let him get healthy and finish this year, a lot stronger because his mechanic looks so unbelievably off. So they're one loss for me for sure. And then I think the second one I'll probably go with my second plummet. I want to go really just the committee. Really. There's zero reason why an 0-2 team shouldn't be ranked. I don't care who it is. If they're 0-2, you are not a top 25 team in the country, regardless of preseason bias and whatever it may be. I mean, like you have teams like Tulane. They're 3-0. They're a very well respected Group of 5 team. They should be in there and not Notre Dame. Also, shout out to Alabama for kind of bouncing back these last two games. Ryan Williams, heck of a performance last time. But just wanted to get y'all a little dose of some college football. I know we don't talk about it much, but the fellows are tapped in. Don't think we aren't. But let's get into this peak of the week game, which is what we deemed the best game this week. And who would have thought 1:00 Cowboys-Giants would have been an absolute heater. I mean, what a phenomenal game. Kirsten, this is kind of the game you brought up first. I want to ask you, what did you learn anything crazy about either of these two teams with this game? Just what were your main takeaways from this one?
Two main takeaways, and they're they're both offense related because I mean 40-37. I mean, not much defense around there. The first one is Malik Neighbors is indeed quarterback proof. Maybe he's from the school of Justin Jefferson. He could possibly be from that school. And I mean, LSU, I wouldn't be surprised. But that kid is quarterback proof. Wan'Dale Robinson sighting. I know that wasn't going to be a part of my thing, but Wan'Dale Robinson sighting, if you're still holding on to hope like that was a good sign. But yeah, that was the other one. And then the main takeaway that I really enjoyed watching, Pickens and CeeDee Lamb will indeed be a problem. Those two will indeed be trouble. Top 3 duo, in my opinion. Really up there for top 2, if you ask me, with AJ and Smitty, personally. But they're just so talented on those different parts. And then as the offense continues to open up for Dallas and they continue to move Pickens around to more places to where subsequently be able to move CeeDee Lamb to more places, I think it's going to be more and more dangerous. Dak is a very good – I know Cam Newton called him a game manager last year, which, I mean, in some sense of the word, I agree. But he's top tier in game manager. He's not Brock Purdy. And that's not even a slight to Brock Purdy. Dak is your apex game manager, if so. And I think giving him weapons like CD and Pickens, not even include everyone else who's been playing well, he's going to have a pretty good year. And I think that was just a sign of it that they can be too much for opposing secondaries to deal with.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I want to swing it to Danny. Relatively the same question. What did you walk away with from this game? But there is one question I want to add on. Does a game like this for Russell Wilson put Jackson Dart a little bit more on the back burner? Might see him a little bit later than anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, whenever the Giants deem that their season's over, is when we'll see Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart won't have an ability to go take the team to the playoffs. It's not going to be like they start 0-6 and they're like, oh, can he bring it in? When their season is over, they're going to say, Russ, please go retire next year. Jackson Dart, come in. That's the reality. And it's unfortunate, but that's going to happen. It's going to happen probably week 8, week 9. And the Giants are just – Russ can't do this every week. And I'll say that right now. He's not going to do this every week. He won't do it every week. He played against one of the worst secondaries in the NFL without DaRon Bland. Teron Diggs looked awful. Granted, he was playing a great receiver, but he looked
worse than awful. He looked really bad.
So the two guys you went and just paid out instead of Micah Parsons, one's hurt and the other one looks like he should be back at Alabama. So whatever you want to do with that information, you can do that. In my mind, this win isn't impressive by the Cowboys. It's impressive that you won, but the win itself was not impressive. You allowed 37 to a New York Football Giants team that has Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors' buddy ball. They had no run game throughout the game ever, and you said, "All right, we're gonna go out there and just a team that's going out there and having fun. Just put up 500 yards of offense." So bad sign, really, really bad sign, and for a team that they lost to the Eagles, and the Eagles offense hasn't played really well in 6 quarters of football at this point. It's intriguing, to say the least. So, not impressive. If anything, I think this game points to that the Cowboys are closer to falling out of the playoffs to me than turning it around.
That's ironic because I'm pretty sure before the season we all had them making the playoffs, and we all agreed how it was going to be done, just like this. They're going to outgun almost any team they're going to come across. Especially if Javonte Williams is going to be running the ball like this, and especially if George Pickens is going to be, picking up the slack when CD has to. I mean, CD snapped this game. That's kind of not the point, but he's able to pick up the slack if CD's not if he's having those drops. Where's George Pickens at? Where's he gonna contribute? That's kind of why they lost week 1, because Dak fell in the clutch. You got to go to CD, and he just wasn't making the plays. But this game, they were absolutely on when the whole offense was great. And I think probably the most valuable, not the most valuable player in the league, but I mean, how good is it that your kicker just get to our own 45, and I truly believe you have a chance, because his leg is outstanding. The accuracy is tremendous. Him, Boswell, are Butker, Elliott, they've just come on very strong this year from deep. So huge shout out to those guys.
Since when did kickers the best thing ever? What? Money from 60 yards. Kickers just don't miss anymore, do they?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna be real honest with these other kickers. All right, we're shocked at the 60s. Like Brandon Aubrey with these 64-yard field goals, they're down the middle. Down the middle, he's not even close to missing. It's truly unreal. He might be the best kicker I've ever seen.
Yeah, he actually is. Between him and
he is ridiculous, and he's clutch. 64 yards. If you miss this, you're losing to the Giants, and nails it, and then nails 46 yards is a chip shot these days.
You want to know what got me when I was watching the game? I forget which announcer said it, but they were like, I mean, if you do a touchback, you're pretty much in Brandon Aubrey's range. You know how crazy that sounds in real life?
That's ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous.
They can kick a field goal from here. So
like I mean, you know how good you have to be for like we watched Justin Tucker for years. Prime Justin Tucker just did not miss. He was the clutchest dude known to man. And Brandon Aubrey, I genuinely believe is on another level. It's ridiculous. I don't know if it's the former soccer player. I have no idea. But shout out to the Cowboys for getting that first win of the season. That was technically me and Danny's lock last week, but I changed mine on our Instagram and Twitter if you saw it, just for the sake of the graphic. But we all nailed it anyway. So let's get into the full week 2 recap. First game we want to talk about, do we just want to start with Eagles-Chiefs? Yes, we might as well. Eagles-Chiefs definitely wasn't the fireworks that maybe a lot of people thought. It was a very slow, methodic game on both sides. Danny, we'll start with you on this one. Chiefs are 0-2. The receiver room is looking slim, and Travis Kelce is looking like a liability. Do you think it's panic button time in Kansas City, or do you think we need to pump the brakes until that wide receiver room gets a little bit healthier?
Well, it depends how they come out and play against the New York Giants. It's a win penciled in. If this game isn't a blowout or a definitive win over the New York Giants, the Kansas City Chiefs should press all panic buttons. If they lose, the season's over. Write them off. Starting 0-3, I don't think this team is good enough outside of Patrick Mahomes. They could make the playoffs. I'm not saying that. They could not win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would agree. 0-3 is most certainly like
they can make the playoffs. I would never doubt Mahomes not make the playoffs.
Yeah, like could they end up winning 10 of their last 15 going or 10 or last 14 and going, but the problem is going 0-3 and losing to the Giants is highly unacceptable.
Look, they're losing to the Eagles and losing to the Chargers is fine. I mean, it's not fine.
Yeah, with Worthy basically missing both games, Rashee Rice isn't back till week 6. Like okay, that's fine, especially with what the Chargers did last night. Like the Chargers looked like the real deal, and the Eagles are the Eagles play chew clock for 4 quarters, so pretty hard to beat that style.
The Eagles need to do a 99 play drive where it's just the tush push. You burn an entire clock up in a half.
Yeah, I
mean, you know how funny that would be, bro. Well, actually, it probably wouldn't even work, just because.
No, because they would just go hard count on 4th down, automatic 1st down. Push.
It's true. Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, this is I guess a must win as much as a week 3 game can be. You definitely can't start 0-3. Hopefully, Worthy is back next week. That gives our offense just a little bit of something. Thornton made a couple of incredible plays, but he cannot be the only option downfield. He had a Dory Jackson beat on one, and then Mahomes just missed him. That's another thing. And also, the Eagles were able to get Tank Bigsby because they need a little 3rd string running back because Will Shipley's hurt. What do you mean, like Kansas City can't just call Atlanta and be like, I have a 3rd or 4th round pick for Tyler Algier. Like, we need a starting caliber running back. Pacheco and Hunt are genuinely terrible. I don't think they would start on any other team in the NFL.
You know how I want
maybe the Steelers.
I want the Chiefs to try. I don't know how they would make the cap work, but maybe they can just go the Kawhi Leonard route. But Alvin Kamara would be special for the Chiefs for so many reasons. Just, I mean, him being able to run the ball, but also him being able to catch out of the backfield that would give Patrick Mahomes just another level of weapon, a closer weapon as well. I think Kamara would be the play. If, the Saints are probably going to be bad. They're looking to be bad, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, and the Saints could probably like up the asking price on that as well, regardless if Kamara is not in his prime or not. But Kamara is doing some sneaky good business in New Orleans through 2 games. Definitely has been their best player or one of their 2 best players offensively. But I would say back to Kansas City.
It's a must-win for the Kansas City Chiefs because their Week 4 matchup is the reality. They play the Baltimore Ravens Week 4. If you start 1-3, you can maybe bounce back. You start 0-4 though.
Yeah, 0-4 is
5-game losing streak for Mahomes. Never done. The Eagles just handed Mahomes.
He's never lost 3 in a row.
Never lost 3 in a row, exactly. Granted, the Eagles were
So.
2 of those losses. So
Division rivals.
looking ahead to the Eagles, though, they have the game of the week next week.
Well, we'll get to that when the time comes. But for the
Thursday.
Eagle side of things on this, I do have to. I wanted to point out a couple things. I was watching the All 22 today, and you know what's very unfortunate? The one play where I thought Jalen could have really let one rip downfield. He smacked the ball against his leg and he fumbled. It was like the first play of the game. He could have really did damage on that. Besides that, if you look at the next gen stats, if you look up Smitty's route tree, he runs nothing over the middle. AJ Brown doesn't run anything over the middle. When they do, they just sit back, and that's why Jalen's time to throw and his average depth of target are one's high and one's extremely low, because these concepts are so predictable. Their formations are predictable. If it's pistol, it's run. If it's under center, it's 100% run. And if it's shotgun, it's like 95% going to be a pass. And when your route concepts are vanilla and you're not really testing a defense, yeah, Jalen Hurts is going to look like the ultimate game manager. But like he told Chris Jones, we won the game. And I know I can win this way. It's not going to look pretty. I don't care about stats. However, I also watched this team kind of do this a couple years ago, won some shootouts, and then next game they'll win like 13-10 or something like that. And then eventually they unraveled because, this defense I don't think would do what the 2023 defense would do. But this offense will get figured out if Kevin Patula doesn't figure it out, or Nick Sirianni doesn't hit up Shane Steichen and maybe ask for a playbook. I have no idea, but definitely need to get some more intermediate stuff in the works. Jalen could play better. He's not, he's not blame free in all of this, but I will say him not turning the ball over, him staying ahead of the sticks regardless is an absolute plus. So people just need to stop looking at the names and kind of realize like everyone is struggling. So if every player is struggling, that means the coach is probably struggling. I'm going to assume. So that was my thoughts on that. Did you guys have any worries for the Eagles? Did you like anything you saw this week from them? No, but Kuba had a big game. So
they're winning despite of having good offensive output. You're at rock bottom. You can only go up.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't really – I mean, they're just winning games. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you have 400 yards or 4 yards, as long as you win, that's all that really matters. So I can't really say anything bad or good or indifferent. They're just winning games. And at the end of the day, that's the only stat that matters for real. So, yeah, on to the next week.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. It would just be a very long season if we didn't have, a 30 ball with like Jalen Hurts 250 passing yards or something like that.
But I think my thing for that, and I like to make my jokes on Twitter just because, I mean, it's Twitter. What else do you do? But it's like with the way the Eagles play, it's almost just a luxury having Jalen Hurts, if that makes sense. Like, not saying they can win with any other quarterback, but with the way they're playing, you don't need spectacular performance out of your quarterback every time. You need him to be clutch, and I think that's what Jalen Hurts has been, mostly with his legs for the most part, getting first downs and stuff. But at the end of the day, outside of him being clutch, you pretty much lean on the rest of the team. And, I mean, it's a luxury that every team wish they had. So I think sometimes when you look at that, I think that's one of those things where you kind of have to just put a little asterisk by it in a good way. Like, he's not asked to do much. Like, can he do the same thing with the Bills, Jalen Hurts? I don't know. He doesn't play for the Bills. Probably. You just don't know that. But it's like you can easily plop any other quarterback hypothetically in there because of the good team they have. But at the end of the day, you still have to know how to massage getting the ball to everyone when they can. It's little nuance that the average fan doesn't think about that I think are what makes the Eagles such a good team and afford them the luxury that they do have to be able to lean on the full team. So
yeah, and I absolutely agree. And I do want to say, if you did watch number 17 in Buffalo this past Sunday, I think Jalen Hurts could have put up the stat line he did. Just but they also were up like 30-3, and Justin Fields had like 27 passing yards in the fourth quarter. But
that was my prediction. But they needed that game. A tremendous leather belt and Justin Fields forgetting how to play football. That was literally what I said. And boom. Yeah.
Well, let's move to an AFC matchup that I was really excited about last week, and it came through, but just not in the way I thought it would. Jaguars Bengals. Joe Burrow's going to miss a lot of time with a grade 3 turf toe. I saw the tweet of the year. They were like, change the name for turf toe. It sounds like some
Please.
cute little injury. It sounds like a little toe sprain. You'll be back. No, that thing sucks. Turf toe sucks.
Have one of y'all ever had
Um,
turf toe? One of y'all ever
I've
had?
never had turf toe. Thank God I've never had that because, that would suck.
Y'all know somebody else who did? 'Cause I think my question is like, how does it look? You know, like I just wonder like what it looks. Does it look like a broken toe? Or does it look like a sprain? Like I always wondered that.
It's a ligament tear. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
So it could be like a grade 1, 2, 3. Like sometimes you could play through it. In Burrow's case, you'd have to be amped up on some pretty serious stuff to get.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if they have another name for it right now. The real name is hallux valgus interphalangeus.
Oh yeah, turf toe is what it is.
That demonic
That's what
spell
it
is exactly what that is. Yes,
That's
we'll call it by its government from now on.
Turf toe it is.
But yeah, I mean, so many things happened this game. I mean, Jake Browning, what kind of went off was kind of gunslinging. Trevor Lawrence was having slight accuracy issues, but his receivers also weren't going for the ball. So that was a very, very weird thing going on Jacksonville's offense.
Juan
And
Thornhill ended Brian Thomas Jr. Unfortunately, he had a preseason game where he laid him out, and he doesn't go for balls across the middle of the field.
yeah, that is unfortunate. Which also brings me to another point: hospital ball, stupid term. It all depends how much you really like the quarterback. Peyton Manning threw lasers, but Derek Carr throws hospital balls. Okay, Trevor Lawrence throws hospital balls, but Josh Allen puts it right on the money between two defenders and his receiver real gutsy to take the hit there. You catch him when I'm putting down.
It's one player that I think does throw hospital balls that I watched over the past weekend. It is one player.
Who?
Ironically, I think it might be Tua. All funny stuff aside. Some of those passes I see, bro, they're their hands are like this, and they have to catch with their fingertips and blam right now. It's like I don't know.
No, he doesn't throw hospital balls. He throws CTE balls.
Honestly,
yeah, that's like literally the best way to describe it because not all of them puts his teammates in danger. They put his whole team in danger because he's giving it to the other team on layups. But let's get back to this Jags Bengals. Chris, we could start with you on this one. Bengals are 2-0. But they're going to miss Joe Burrow for practically the entire season. A good chunk of it, at the very least. They might get him back end of December. I feel like I know the answer to this question, but like, is there any way that you could see them holding on until he gets back?
No. And the only reason why I say that is because it's not a real-rounded team. And I think that's the problem. For example, not wishing any ill on any other players in the NFL, but say another quarterback goes down on a before-mentioned team. I think that team may have a better chance because they have a good running game, because they have a good defense, blah, 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 blah. The Bengals don't have that. They have Burrow, Chase, T. I'm including Chase Brown there because I'm a fan. And that's about it. And Trey Henderson on defense. And that's about it. And it's like, I don't know if they can sustain, but I think this is probably just good news for a team like, I don't know, the Chiefs, who may be looking for a wild card somewhere, someplace. This may be good for them because even though they're starting off 2-0, I don't see them being 8-2 when it comes to week 10. You know, I don't see that. So I think it's more so giving hope for everyone else. But I think for the Bengals, if they can stay afloat during this time, I will bank and pay money that it will be because of Jamar Chase. And I think that will move him into that maybe wide receiver. I mean, not maybe wide receiver 1, but he's their quarterback proof too. I think he will be, because I think if he's able to put them on his back with 10 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns per game with Browning or with Jameis Winston, hopefully, because that would be good for my fantasy team. Then we will see. But I just don't see them doing it. I don't think they have a well-rounded enough team to survive Joe Burrow being out there long.
Yeah, I would agree. Hypothetically, let's say he comes back for this 27th game against the Ravens. He would have missed 9 games. These 9 games would be the Vikings, who granted they are going to start Carson Wentz next week. Spoiler, I'm picking the Bengals. Then they have the Broncos. Bo Nix has looked like probably one of the 5 worst quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not saying Jake Browning's going out and walking these teams down, especially the Broncos with their defense. The Lions, they're going to lose without Joe Burrow. Packers, they're going to lose. Steelers are one of those weird ones where I'd pick the Steelers, but they've also shown me to do. They've shown me they're still capable of being very stupid. With some of the stuff they do. So Jets, it's very winnable. Bears, that's very winnable. They have the Steelers again. A split in that scenario would be perfect. And then you have the Patriots, who I'd probably pick them to lose that game. The reason I highlight that Ravens game is because they have a 3-week stretch of Ravens, Bills, Ravens. If Joe Burrow's not back for that, much less if they're not even afloat, all of this is meaningless because Jake Browning's not walking down Lamar Jackson for 2 games.
Honestly, this is my thing with Joe Burrow. Even if he can come back Ravens game, I don't know if I want to be like, all right, Joe, first 3 games back, Ravens, Bills, Ravens. I don't know if I want to put him through that. Just coming off of what he's coming off of, I don't know. Just off the street.
That is true, but Joe Burrow would probably tell you, I want the Ravens and Bills 18 times a year.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow not sweet.
Bring him to me. You know how he gets.
He's not sweet, and I know he's going to come back and play. And it's just thinking forward. Thinking 2 years from now, I wouldn't want him out there, but he would. But yeah, that's my only thing. Like, all right, that's a scary 3 games to have your first 3 back. Yeah,
Danny, I want to swing a question to you about the Jaguars through 2 games of this Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence offense. What's standing out to you the most? Like, are there any positive that you're feeling? Any negatives? What are your thoughts?
The positive is Liam Cohen, to be honest. He's putting plays and putting players in the right positions to win games. He is making the right decisions. He's a good coach. And his players aren't executing. Brian Thomas Jr. has to be better. Travis Hunter needs to be more engaged and involved. He can't have 6 catches for 30 yards. Look, he's getting guys like Strange and De'Ami Brown involved early, and they're making big plays. Even Parker Washington. The issue comes with your 2-star players, the one you spent the 2nd overall pick on, and the other one that you spent a mid-first round pick on last year. They need to step up and make plays. You spent 2 first-round picks on wide receivers, and they're combining for like 50 yards. Be better. And it's not like a 50 yards with the Eagles in a win and their ground and pound and grit game. You're getting out-dueled, and your quarterback's throwing the ball 45 times.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And you know, as much as I do agree with your point, those 2, as talented as they are, they need to step up. Trevor Lawrence isn't blame-free in all this. I mean, he is just way too inconsistent throwing the football. Some throws, you're like, yeah, that is, and I feel like he's the one player where like him and Caleb Williams are like the 2 guys in this league where it's like there are drives at a time. There are literally play-by-play basis at a time where you're like, yes, that is why we say you can be top 5 one day. That's why you're a future MVP. And then there's other throws like, all right, this dude's just never going to figure it out. The deep ball inaccuracy is tough. Even, you know, Liam Cohen had to like light into him saying, hit your guy on the chest. However, I think Liam Cohen's pretty stupid for that because it hit the receiver in the hands. You know how I am. But yeah, I absolutely agree. I guess there are 2. I think there are positives. I think the Jaguars can still build on this. And Chris talking about teams that could benefit from a Joe Burrow-less Bengals on a wild card spot. The Jaguars are definitely one of those teams. They could have really capitalized being 2-0 with Houston's loss last night. They'd be looking great. But instead, it's the Colts. The Colts and the Broncos. Let's jump to them real quick. If I told you guys before the year, the next vet that's going to figure it out will be Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Would y'all have stoned me with rocks, or would you have been like, let him cook? He might have an idea here.
I ain't gonna lie. As soon as you said Daniel Jones, I probably would have just asked if you needed help or anything. I didn't see anything positive come from Daniel Jones. He was a backup for the Ravens in my eyes for a second. It was almost there. Now look,
for me, it was all because I met him in New York.
Okay.
Danny saved his career, by the way.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris, what were you saying?
Danny saved. Oh, our Danny saved Danny Dimes' career. But what I will say,
No. You heard his new nickname?
no,
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
That is low key lit. I'm actually a fan of that.
I saw somebody said, "Yo, I'm really hot because he does not deserve this nickname."
But that
I said the
nickname-
same thing. Oos sent me it, and I was like, he does not deserve that, dude. That makes me
I'm so
so
sick of
bad.
Such a good name though.
and it's
Yeah.
double sickening because it means Anthony Richardson is turned into my Cam Reddish. My shade turned into my Cam Reddish.
Unfortunately, he was like Bull.
Anthony Richardson turned into my Cam
He's your Bull, not Cam Reddish.
But yeah, I think just about the Colts as a whole. I mean, if Indiana, I was going to say Danny Dimes, if Indiana Jones, that is so fire. If he can keep it up, they have other pieces that make me say, You know, like I'm a Jonathan Taylor fan, except for when he cost me $8,000 last year by dropping the ball before he hit the end zone. But that's another story. I do love Jonathan Taylor.
Cam Bynum's awesome.
Yeah, and Cam Bynum, great celebrator, by the way. Great celebrator. I think they have pieces on this team to where it's like, if they can get competent quarterback play, maybe they can be the Broncos of last year. They could be that. Go out there, make a playoff game, maybe get spanked, maybe win. You never know. But I think they could be that team that's just they're around at the end if they can continue to get solid quarterback play. And I respect that. Just because I think Richardson was the talent. He had the eye-popping just physical ability, but he couldn't put it together and didn't play hard, whatever the case may be. But I think Daniel Jones having something to prove was probably one of the best things for this Colts team currently, how they're currently constructed.
Yeah. And Danny, what have your thoughts been through too on the Colts? Do you think this is something that could potentially be maintained? Are we looking at this year's version of the 2024 Saints? What do you think?
I think they're better than the Saints, but it's not overall sustainable. I think they should be contention in the lead for winning their division, considering how they've been that tight to win a division every year. I think it all falls back on their coach. And I said this before the season. Steichen has this. It's almost he has pressure on him, and he's performing. I said he very easily could run himself out of town with a bad season under Anthony Richardson, but he's having a great season so far under a different quarterback. So, Shane Steichen, props to you. Probably the Eagles' best play caller in the last 3-4 years, honestly. I think he's better than Kellen Moore as a play caller. That's up for debate, whatever you want to say. But the reality is Steichen is doing his job, and he's winning games, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, with what Steichen's doing his best 2022 Dable impression, where he's really making things easy for Jones, play action, roll out, a lot of things that just make the read easy for him. However, though, there are things that Daniel Jones is doing well that's completely on his own. Straight drop back, he's maneuvering the pocket relatively well and finding, layered throws and whatnot. I will also say there are plays where I question if he has eyes. I'm not going to lie to you. There was one where he threw a corner route to Warren in double coverage, and he had, I think it was Alec Pierce, I believe, running like a dig or a sail route, something across the middle. If he throws it to him, it's a touchdown. Like from 50 yards out, like it's a complete touchdown. There's another one in the red zone where I think he went to give Warren a shot on a play. But he threw it into he tried to throw a jump ball or whatever, but all he had to do was layer it over a backer and it was money. Like it was, there were some things he's missed, and that's kind of why we're at this point with Daniel Jones. However, Bo Nix looked better than week one. He's still really rough, not hitting stuff over the middle. Had the good deep ball to Denzel Mims, and him and Troy Franklin were able to get some buddy ball going. But, I mean, it is just so rough to have a consistent drop-back passing game with Bo Nix. He doesn't see the field very well. He's not really looking to test it over the middle. So that's kind of something with Denver. And something I will say, something with, Chris, you were mentioning weapons. The Colts weapons had their way with Pat Surtain. They they caught some passes on him. Contested balls, but I mean, hey.
I didn't like that.
So
I didn't like that one bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Tyler Warren had a catch. I think A.D. Mitchell might have had a catch on him. And the is just this is a solid group of weapons. Like Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell, Tyler Warren,
is
Michael
Tyler
Pittman,
Warren Bowers
Pierce.
with longer hair?
See, that could be the case, right? Because Theo on Stay Hot brought up a really good point. Tyler Warren was like the Taysom Hill on steroids for Penn State. He did everything. He ran the ball. He threw the ball sometimes. He was the go-to guy in the pass game. But now he's like the third or fourth option. He's just a regular old tight end. He could be deadly. Like, he could be really good. He's not going to be as gassed. It's relatively that simple. So, also when you're rotating with a demon like Mo Alley Cox,
different. And I can't wait to see when they start putting him as the fullback sometimes behind Jonathan Taylor doing fullback. Play action throws him out in the flat. It's coming.
Yeah, they definitely had some of those plays drawn up. It kind of got blown up a little bit by the chips by the edges because Benito and them are crazy. But anything else you guys want to say about Broncos Colts?
Nope. But Bo Nix, what is Steve Naismith? You're under surveillance.
You were under surveillance. Yes, he is under surveillance. Let's go to Lions Bears. Lions bounce back in a huge way. 50 ball.
Leather belt.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, they don't miss a beat. The offense looks still just as good as it did last year. Just maybe the Packers are world beaters. We will have to find out next week. But as for Chicago, which is the real kind of topic of discussion here,
can I start?
Here's a positive. Rome Odunze's route chart looked really good. He had a great game. Glad to see that. But overall, this run game isn't great. And Caleb, while better than last week, still kind of a lot of the same stuff. Missing some deep balls and not getting the ball out of hands fast. Him and Rome looked good, though. I'll say that. Danny, let me go to you on this one. Are we more impressed with Detroit? Or are we more concerned with Chicago if we had to pick one?
I'm more concerned with Chicago. The defense looked decent against J.J. McCarthy, and then J.J. McCarthy exposed them. When you talk about their defense coming out of this game, they looked flat. They looked unenthused. They looked like they couldn't stop anything. The Black Plague must have occurred in Detroit because legitimately their Lions were catching everything.
Bar.
It's like unfortunate what happened to the Bears, and it's another season of the Bears winning the offseason, another season of everyone hyping up the Bears, and another season of the Bears not making the playoffs. It's going to happen. It's inevitable.
I don't really like your term of everyone hyping up the Bears because I don't think anyone really saw them higher than like third or fourth in the division. Anyone with a real mattering opinion.
Like 9 to 10 games.
9 to 10 games and be last in the division?
Third in the division.
No way. The whoever places third in this division, I don't think will have 9 wins, especially because I'm not like the Vikings do not look good. So offensively, quarterback, they do not look good. So, okay, Chris, what about you? Are we more concerned for Chicago, or is Detroit just back to their old ways?
I think my concern is for Chicago, and I think it's more so because of the panic level. Like, the Lions are a good team. That's why you took the offensive coordinator, because they were a good team. So, I mean, getting spanked by 30, I mean, that's never great. But I think you look at the positive. I think Caleb Williams has looked better. I think so. Like, all things considered, he's had some misses, some bad habits that you don't shake off within 10 games. But other than that, I think he has looked pretty good. I think you look at more so the lack thereof running game. And I love DeAndre Swift because I love how he cuts. He's probably not your running back A. He probably wouldn't be my choice to be my every down back. And that's kind of what he is for the Bears. I think that holds everything back for them as a whole. I think the biggest thing is just the chemistry with DJ Moore doesn't seem to be there. With Rome Odunze, yes, and I think that's important because moving forward, obviously that's your future. But I think the chemistry with DJ Moore is lacking. I think that's probably what's hurting the Bears more than people want to really admit to or can understand that it's really hurting them. So yeah, I think it's more positive for the Bears. They had some good drives. I think Caleb Williams had some good drives. I think that's what you should build on. You're losing to teams that are better than you. You're still a year or two away, in my opinion. So I don't know. I think y'all look at it like that. I think for the Lions, it was kind of what I said the Bills needed to do. They needed one of those games where they go out there and put leather belt, and they did. So I think that's going to be good for their confidence, good for their offense confidence. And I think what I liked the most about the Lions was just Jahmyr Gibbs looking fast and springy more than he did the first week, in my opinion. I think he looked really good. So that's probably the biggest takeaway from the Lions, that you got Sonic back. And I think him and Montgomery looked like they did last year, like that top 2 or 3 running duo in the NFL. So that's what I take away from him.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of you guys to an extent. But this win was so much needed for the Lions, because after the week 1, it's like, okay, are the Packers God, or are the Lions going to be so bad? And this at least puts it back into the question that, like, okay, maybe Green Bay, maybe they are gods, but we're still pretty good too. Like, catch us on a better day, type of thing. Let's move to, this game wasn't a game until like 10 minutes left to go. Cardinals, Panthers, battle of the short kings, Kyler Murray and Bryce Young. Danny, this was one of the games you elected to talk about. Tell me, what did you like about this one? I mean, Bryce let it rip 55 times, and Kyler Murray was playing a little bit of little bit of all lives matter ball over on Cardinals offense. What'd you like?
Yeah, the fact that Bryce let it rip 55 times says a lot. Canales has faith in him. He got benched last year. It's not coming anymore. What it tells you is T-Mac, real deal. 6 catches, 100 yards. 100% the real deal.
Had like 2 of the greatest what if catches I've ever seen too. Obviously, that doesn't count for anything, but it's like, when someone's going to be the real deal.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow, 7 catches, 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. Some would say he's back.
One would say he's actually an impact player, and another bozo on this panel should be eating his words.
Who?
I was obviously like, no, I'm taking back your compliment. Never mind.
Oh, I was so confused.
Yeah, no, never mind. I'm not giving you credit for that. What would usually be prompted as a good take? Nah, you just threw something at the wall and you're lucky it stuck. So Hunfro ACL on the way. Sorry. Not my fault, guys.
I don't cheer the ACL tears on ever.
Okay, that's good for you. Good thing you're not the one who said it.
But overall, yeah, Bryce Young, progressive game. Eventually, I think we start to look at the defense. You can't go down 27. It's kind of too faceted, right? Like, you don't want to go down big early, but at the same time, like, Bryce led you back into a decent game. So, like, yes, you can't go down 27-3. At the same time, you kind of get put points on early, so it's not 27-3. So you don't want to go at 27 points early, though. I think this falls down to the Panthers having a subpar defense, and will result in the Panthers just missing the playoffs, because I'm calling it early. Like, saying these teams are done, they're 0-2. It's very hard for teams to bounce back when they're down that bad early.
I mean, I'll say I don't think this falls entirely on the defense. I will not lie to you. Bryce Young's offense generated nothing through 3 quarters. He was horrible through 3 quarters. And I was literally telling someone, I was like, is he just the worst quarterback in the world through 2 weeks? Is that just the deal? Fourth quarter, he let it rip, of course. But then you have the last play of the game. You have to roll out. You have to extend a play and get something off. You cannot just be swallowed whole by Calais Campbell, even though, he is a whole foot taller than you. But again, the fourth quarter was bare minimum encouraging, I would say. Definitely would like to see him rack up these numbers. Hopefully not on 6, yards attempt, but I definitely get where you're coming from. And also, solid win for Arizona. Chris, what do you think about this one? I mean, Carolina, obviously, they had heroic efforts in the fourth, but Arizona isn't the team that won this football game. So what do you think about this one?
Just another dub for Arizona, no matter how it came. I mean, I think they had flashes where they looked really good as well. And then the defense was just like, you know what, Carolina, let's make it interesting for Vegas. But yeah, I don't know. I think I liked what I seen out of the Cardinals as a whole. I like what I see out of Kyler this year, man. Even though I was hoping for Kyler the MHJ buddy ball for my fantasy team, obviously. He's looked good. He's looked like he's matured just a tad as a quarterback, you know, over some things that he's had dealing with over the course of his career early on. He did the famous Kyler Scurry shuffle that I love to see, running around 70 yards, get 20 Lamar Jackson type beat. So yeah, it was just cool to see. Like I said, I like seeing Kyler Murray perform at a high level, and I think that's what he did. I think the defense made some good plays before they literally stopped making good plays. So I think that was something to build on there. But yeah, I think it's a good win. Move on to the next week. Battle of the Short Kings was good, and also too. I know you asked about the Cardinals. Shout out to Bryce Young, just making strides every game. After he was getting written off early on, I'm just happy to see him doing well every since that. I forget which game it was last season where they kind of turned it on and looked good. I think he's looked pretty good pretty much since then, even with his shortcomings. So no pun intended, but even with that, so I'm able for that.
Yeah, in Arizona, this win is huge. When you have the Rams and the Niners both 2-0 already, you can't be affording to be losing these, quote, penciled-in games, as Danny said earlier, referring to the Chiefs-Giants game. But let's talk about the last game. Let's go from these two number one overall picks over to two more number one overall picks. Matthew Stafford and the Rams did beat the Titans, and this year's number one overall pick, Cam Ward, not sure how much everybody tuned into this one. I rewatched this on the All 22. This is one of 3 games I watched on the All 22. I wanted to see, how Devontae Adams was looking. I wanted to see how Cam Ward was looking, and I walked away very happy with both of them. Cam Ward, let me start with his nonchalant act makes for a hell of a play action fake. That nonchalant stuff won't slide in the NFL. Not only will it slide, it'll help. That's how good it is. So, just wanted to point that out. He's still, I kind of like what they're doing. A lot of play action, a lot of rollout stuff, just making things easier. And in the straight drop back game, it's kind of like, look, be creative. I was thinking about this at the gym. I was like, he's allowed to get away with those flick passes, those shovel things, going down and throwing sidearm things. He can do that because he looks more like Mahomes doing it. Whereas when Will Levis does it, he looks like Carson Wentz. And it looks like some of the most god-awful turnovers you ever see because I don't think there's any IQ backing it up. It's kind of just risk. Whereas Ward and Mahomes, when they do things like that, it's like it's instead of arm arrogance, it's just flat-out confidence. And they know they can do that. So really like what I saw for him and Devontae Adams. If you thought that dude was washed, you are sadly mistaken. Him and Stafford really got it going. There was a throw where Stafford kind of stepped up, sidearmed it. It was layered and just out of the reach of the defender who was guarding Adams. It was beautiful, and Adams essentially picked it up near his knee. He had a great day. Don't need to say anything about Puka. Puka is top 5. So, I was what I went into that game hoping to find, I found. So I think Ward's going to keep doing a lot more of what we've seen through week 2, and hopefully, he'll grow more within a true drop back passing game. Forget his receivers will allow it. And the Rams, I think this is their best shot in a while, especially with the way this defense looked. This is their best shot in a while to go back to the Super Bowl, especially with the way Devontae Adams has come along. It hasn't been like somehow some other wash receivers may have looked when they got to their 4th, 5th team. He looks, every bit of good as he did last year. I have no comment whether DeAndre Hopkins is washed or not. You have 2 touchdowns. If you're putting the ball in the end zone, you cannot be that washed. So, what did you guys think? I don't know if you I don't know if you guys got to watch much of this one, but what did you guys think of this game if you got to?
Cam Ward fanboy is me. Cam Ward fanboy. I'm a fan, and I think I said it last week. I'll make a quick Danny so you can go. I think he is again proving that was the number one pick of this draft for what was needed. Like he every time he does, like he makes plays to where it's like, all right, if we can get guys around this guy, like it starts making you get that type of feeling, and that's what I like to see. I think this quarterback class was weak overall. Obviously, we know that, but I think he's kind of proving. I mean, obviously because he's getting the reps and everything is too. That he is QB1 in this draft, and I think the Titans made the right decision to go there instead of Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter or someone else. I think with the right pieces around him, and as he continues to grow in the NFL, I think he can be a very, 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 very special talent. So that's what I took away from the game. I mean, the Rams look good. Their defense looks good. Jared Verse, one of my favorite young players to watch for sure. The defense looked good. Offense, I mean, Matt Stafford, Puka, Devontae Adams, I mean, and my guy Kyron Williams is going to mention him every time. I mean, what can you say? They look good, but I like Titans. Yeah.
The Rams' run game does look soft.
It does, but not because of Kyron Williams, because of Williams Kyron.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something.
To blame, but
can't you swap Tua Tagovailoa and Cam Ward, and the Dolphins might be a playoff team.
I will listen. I will listen.
I will listen for sure. I would listen. Absolutely. I don't even want to know what Mike McDaniel's like. What would he would start drawing up specific plays for how he wants Cam Ward to release the ball. Like that's the type of stuff he would do with him.
Fake pitch to Devon A-Chain, streak to Tyreek Hill. Sign me up. I'll be there.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
yeah,
just wait till Cam Ward gets some options around him. That defense is actually like low key stout.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad. It wasn't great.
I mean, they played.
It's the Rams, it's the Rams, but
they played pretty like rough and tough football for the last against both opponents. The two playoff teams from last year.
Yeah, they gave them quite a trouble. I mean, Rams ran away pretty late, so I think the Titans did pretty decent.
So I think when you're looking at a team, like I know their coaches might be on a short leash, but you have to take into account he's getting these guys ready. He's keeping them close in games. They might not be ready to win now, but Cam Ward is awesome. He's special, and I think the Rams are looking ahead to this NFC divisional round rematch against Philadelphia Eagles. Both the Rams are undefeated in their last 11 games outside of Philadelphia Eagles. That's 9 games, outside of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 0-2 against the Eagles. They're 9-0 outside of that. And the Eagles as well, their last in the last 9 games. The last 18 games Jalen Hurts started and finished, they're 18-0. So certainly going to be an interesting preview. I don't want to preview too much before Thursday, but this game has thriller.
Yeah, I do have a concept to bring to you guys about an Eagles Rams game though. So Quentin Mitchell guards Puka. The concept of Adoree Jackson having to guard Devontae Adams. Yeah.
Is there any other concept you can present?
We hire someone to take Stafford out.
Yo, Ja'Cory and Bennett, high key. Ja'Cory and Bennett might be able to play physical on Adams.
He could be physical. He got no one in that cornerback room besides Quentin Mitchell got anything for him.
I got it.
If there's anything that Tays struggled with in his career, it's physicality.
I know. I got it, Dane. Don't worry about it. I got the fix.
How? You don't have to worry about physicality if the dude can't touch you. So
Reed Blankenship moves to corner. Bam.
Good luck.
Then I got it. Jalen Carter moves to safety. So as soon as Devontae Adams catches the ball, he just gets hit. He can't catch it. He drops it. It just
Jalen Carter wouldn't last more than 2 plays at safety.
It doesn't matter. He just stands back.
The
ball goes up. Wham!
He was taking plays off, just playing defensive line. So, yeah. But let's get into our Thursday night preview
and Joel Embiid action. He out of shape.
Yeah. Let's get into this Thursday night preview. We got Bills-Dolphins. I think we all know who we're picking to win, but I'll start with you, Danny. Who's winning and why?
I think the Bills are going to win. I saw an intriguing thing that said, the Bills are the most obvious choice in the world, so the Dolphins have to win here.
Yep, literally. That's how it's going to work. That's how it works.
Divisional round, Bills are like 14-point favorites. I'm picking Josh Allen. I'm picking a skidding defense, offense that looks like it's like absolute dumpster fire. Tua can't read a defense. If there is a defense he can read, it's the Buffalo Bills, though. The Buffalo Bills defense did not look good against the Baltimore Ravens, and look, they bounced back and put Justin Fields. They bounced back and played. They made Justin Fields have the worst QBR, I believe, ever.
Be nice. Be nice to JF.
Yes. The Baltimore Ravens lit that defense up. The Baltimore Ravens will take any team in this league and light them up. That's not the point. Like, the Dolphins are much closer to, and Tua is much closer in the fields of Justin Fields and the New York Jets than they are the Ravens. So I have no intentions of this team giving the Bills defense fits.
Yeah, you taking Justin Fields or Tua? Tua's healthy.
Don't ask
Chris.
me.
I'm not asking you.
Don't ask me.
I would say Tua, because bare minimum,
I don't want that.
If he's on a heater, he can throw with anticipation. That's pretty much all I can ask for. We can run a functional offense. Fields is just a little too.
All right, Chris. I'm going to ask you a separate question. Ready? Not about Justin Fields. Are you taking Mac Jones or Tua?
We're talking about 49ers Mac Jones that was out the other day.
Come on.
Tua still.
Okay.
But still, this is what I will say. It's still not close because Mac Jones is not good, but that was a good performance. That was a good performance. I would say that. JF said
big return of the Mac.
Yeah, that is true.
Dudes get a super team and super coach around him and think he's him. But there was someone else in that football game carrying straight bums.
Mac Jones is the next
really potent it.
Mac Jones, okay, yeah, he's better than Caleb Williams. He better than at Oklahoma too.
Oh, I know. I know. Before Bryce Young popped off in that little fourth quarter. Well, I was about to say Rattler not even the worst QB in his division. We good, bro. We good. Look, I know we're not talking about the game. He was hooping though. Just want to let y'all know. Yeah, Tyler Shuck might not touch the field. My brother's nice.
Face swag was going off, and Tyler Shuck should not be.
You be frying me with the phrase, the face swag.
He looks just like a... It tweaks me out every time he takes his helmet off. I'm like, bro, why aren't you streaming?
If they took like another position, not quarterback, a 27-year-old quarterback in the second round, they could have took Will Johnson, and they could have had him and Kool-Aid. They could have took anyone, but they also could have took Will Johnson specifically. They could have took Derek Watt at 31 years old, and it probably would have been better.
Nah, pipe down. Get that nepo baby out the NFL.
Well, you're gonna have another nepo baby in New Orleans next year. Garrett Nussmeier, get ready to learn New Orleans Saints.
No. Arch Manning, the biggest nepo baby.
But Garrett Nussmeier's dad is the offensive coordinator, so that would be super nepo.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Unfortunately, they're getting not a nepo baby. They're getting the best quarterback in college football. It's Marcel Reed.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
look. Every quarterback, I'm president of their fan club. They are good. I just want people to know that.
I'm president of Cam Ward fan club. Cam Ward fan club. That's me. I love Cam Ward for a long time.
Remember I said it. I was right about Jaden. Lenore Sell is QB1. That's all I'm saying.
Doesn't take much for this class, I'm afraid. Straight bums.
The thing that usually happens to me, one of my teams loses to a quarterback off of like some incredible stuff, and then I start liking the quarterback. That happened with Penix. Penix had that overtime touchdown against Penn State, and I was like, you know what? I like this guy because he beat my team.
That's usually how it works for me too.
Yeah. Honestly, you could trot out any quarterback. I'm going to like him more than Drew Aller. So there's that.
Oh, I thought that was your guy. I thought that was your QB1.
Drew Aller?
My three favorite teams, he's the worst quarterback.
You know who he grew up liking?
Who?
The Cleveland Browns. Welcome home, buddy. Another quarterback to the roster.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But just to wrap this up, Chris, I assume you got the Bills over the Dolphins.
No, I don't. No,
I
100% got the Bills.
You almost hit on that Dolphins lone pick last week. I will say,
bro, almost, bro.
Tua threw a hot dog.
That boy
not even a burger, threw a hot dog.
That boy said, "Chris, you got us to win. Too bad." But yeah, I got the Bills. I think the Bills just bring the same leather belt they brought last week to the Jets and just use it against the Dolphins the same way. I think it's like
It's a steel belt, not
30
even leather.
yeah.
Steel.
Yeah,
No, they get a
37
paddle.
I think the Dolphins score a couple touchdowns. I think A-Chain and Hill get back to the end zone, but I think they still lose by double digits.
I think Hill's finding his way out of Miami by week 6.
That's because Tyreek Hill, you are a
Raven.
Chief. No, we don't need.
He fits the culture.
No. What we need is.
I
I know
Ray Rice.
we're not doing that. We don't even associate with that loser Ray Rice anymore. But Cortland Sutton, you will complete the trifecta and play 1 year with the Ravens soon. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but you will.
Cortland Sutton not doing it.
Quiet
Come
game
on,
as
he's
well.
not doing it.
What about it?
Cortland Sutton he had a quiet game.
Y'all seen the Pro Bowl picture? It was Derrick Henry, Sutton, Lamar. We already have 2. I just need one more wish list. Jair was on my wish list, but I wished he didn't was not there.
Yeah, you should have kept him on the wish list.
But it's okay. That just proves that if you ask for it long enough, it works.
Should have kept him in the cart.
He said add it to wish list. Please add back to wish list. I unwish you.
At God, my fault.
You used 2 of your wishes on your genie. What's your third one? Cortland Sutton, your third.
No.
Your second wish is remove him.
I only have one more wish. My wish is that Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl this year. That would be my last wish. That
reminded me of the dude that's going to getting arrested. He said, "You have anything to say?" He goes, "I hope the Steelers win the Super Bowl."
Well, I mean, something.
What a bad wish. But that's everything from us today, guys. That was our week 2 recap. We'll be back on Thursday recording to preview week 3 of football and give the picks, give our bold takes and lockets. But yeah, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, 5-star review from AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next episode.